Hey people, I hope you're doing well. I have come to see what there is to see. I've got nudges to kind of focus on unity within oneself and divine feminine energies. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've got the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, and I've got the Divine Feminine Oracle. So I'm going to pull a few cards from each. I'm Hannah, by the way. Thanks for being here. Thanks for liking and subscribing and commenting. And your engagement with the channel. And helping to build up a little community here. And being part of it. Oh, the Gaia tarot deck is feeling really stuck. So let's see what we can see to get unstuck. That's so weird because when I was using it the other day, it was super slippy. So it was like, what's going away? What's going on? Faith. I might do the thumbnail with the cards that come out, just because I'm not on camera for this reading, so we'll see how that works out. So you've got the visuals as well. 152 for anyone who cares about numbers. Faith, self-belief, confidence, divine connection, trust, serenity, surrender. Faith is beautiful. Self-belief helps you to overcome. Self-belief and faith inspire confidence. Doubt breeds mistakes. Cruel words can do lasting harm. Do not give up because of past mistakes. Be kind and supportive. Set yourself believable goals. You matter. You are enough. You are not alone. Do not be unkind because others have been unkind to you. Take delight in compliments. To have faith, the 8th of the influence cards, is a beautiful thing. It inspires a feeling of serenity that is unshakable. With faith comes a level of self-confidence that sees you capable of overcoming all that life throws at you. To have self-belief gives you confidence when facing new and challenging situations. When out in a social setting, you're comfortable to be yourself. Having self-belief allows you to enjoy life more because you are less troubled by insecurity. With faith in yourself and your abilities, you stand a greater chance of having a successful career. You are more confident in taking well-considered risks. You are healthier and happier because you are under less pressure and emotional and mental stress. In turn, your relationships with others will be better also. On the other hand, a lack of self-belief or faith can be seen in our moods, the way we speak about ourselves, our body language and actions. Without faith and belief in self, every decision can become an almost excruciating process. If you do not believe that you will succeed or do well, then sadly, there is an increased chance that you will not. Doubt and lack of faith breeds mistakes, procrastination and self-sabotage. But know this, you are not unimportant. You are somebody, you are unique, you have gifts, you have strengths, you have talents, you are bright with potential, and if you believe in yourself, you will shine. A little belief can go a long way. With faith and self-belief, you can accomplish great things, even miracles. The past. Your confidence while growing up was influenced by what those around you said to you or about you. If those around you were kind and supportive, not just in words but in actions also, you had every chance of growing to become a confident adult with healthy self-esteem and confidence. This confidence would have increased as you moved out into the world, because you left home with the best tools in hand to meet life with a smile. However, while we are told that we should strive not to be affected by others' negative perceptions or opinions of us, especially those unwarranted criticisms and barbs born of the insecurities and doubts of the person who offered the negative opinion. Words can and do hurt. They can cause real and lasting pain. If the exposure to those who hurt us is prolonged and repeated, their unkind words and actions can cause deep and lasting psychological wounds that destroy self-belief, confidence and faith, the ability to trust in self or others. Therefore, it is important to remember to be kind above all else. Faith and self-belief are born of kindness. People are fragile. It is not only physical blows that can cause us harm. To ridicule and to instill doubts in another just because you yourself have doubts can result in the lifelong destruction of another person's self-belief and self-worth. Remember, the wrong words at the wrong time can do lasting harm. When we feel an impulse to ridicule, we can stop and ask ourselves if we truly can be at peace if we cause another person's distress. Would we be okay with another person ridiculing us, or worse still, our own child, and causing them to doubt themselves, not just for a short time, but for their entire lifetime? We must not make the mistake of believing that this is not possible. It is. The wrong words at the wrong time can do lasting harm, but equally, the right words at the right time can heal and restore self-belief. One of the messages of the faith card in a past position is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you, rather than do unto others what others have done unto you in the past, unless, of course, they have been kind and supportive. But if in response to treatment you received in your past, you find yourself becoming hard and critical or inclined to label others in an unkind manner, use this message to help you become aware of the potential harm you might do to others because of the lack of faith you have in yourself. Another message of the faith card is in the past position is to avoid focusing on your own past mistakes in a way that destroys your confidence in the present. Remember, you only truly fail when you stop trying. Change direction if you wish. Try something new if that's what you need and desire, but do not stop trying because you've made mistakes in the past. So what if things did not eventuate as you had hoped? It happens to everybody, even those who you see as successful. Have faith that everything happens for a reason and that maybe, just maybe, you did not succeed in the past because something better awaits for you now. If you are willing to have faith and keep trying. The present. Belief in yourself does require a little effort and introspection. To increase self-belief, you need to know who you are and to consider why you lack confidence and self-belief in the first place. Are you uncertain and unsure of your path? Do you feel that all you do is not good enough? The faith card in the present position asks you to have faith, believe you are good enough. In fact, you are not only good enough, but you are enough. We all are. Yes, we all can be more. We can all be better, but we are also enough. All that we strive to become is because we choose to be better, not because we are not good enough in the present. Faith in the present comes to tell us that we are not alone and that dreams and aspirations are a wonderful thing. Trust in them. All will unfold as it is meant to be. All will unfold as it was meant to, Trust in yourself. Those around you believe in you, so it is time for you to believe in yourself. Having a belief in a higher power or spiritual path can have a great benefit. It is not about embracing religion, but embracing connection. Cultivate the belief that you are part of something larger because you are. We are all connected, and simple awareness and celebration of that connection can bring serenity. You are being watched over. You are worthy of happiness and abundance. Meet obstacles in your path with a smile and confidence. You are strong enough to overcome them and continue forward. Yes, life is likely to offer you moments of heartbreak and pain, but if you have faith in yourself and the divine, you will move through these moments with more ease. Having faith brings serenity and the confidence to trust and go with the flow. When you have faith, the choice is made with ease and clarity. There is no need to fight, control and struggle because you trust in yourself to know that you are heading in the right direction. Have faith. The future. The faith card in the future position symbolises setting yourself simple goals and acting on them in order to increase your confidence and self-belief. Do something you have been promising to do for yourself, something small. When it is done, smile and be proud of yourself. Make a promise to do the same thing next week and then you complete your task. Be sure to acknowledge it and rejoice in the happiness that it brings you. Over time, your confidence increases, makes the goals more complex, but remember to make them personal. Honour your desires, set personal goals to improve you in some way so that your self-belief grows, not only through achieving your goal, but because of the goal itself. Potential blockage. When the faith card appears reversed, which it didn't. So there's no blocks really, except for if you let your past get in the way, is what it's saying. Is there any more messages from Gaia? Any more messages from Gaia? The 9 of air. Two, 1, 2. For anybody interested in the numbers. Self-awareness, universal consciousness, understanding, insight, vision, imagination, fantasy, creativity. Open to possibility. Possibilities are infinite. Know thyself and know the universe. What dwells within you dwells within nature. Belief creates. All that exists was first imagined. Fantasy is the birthplace of reality. You were born to create. Imagine your fears away. Meaning, the 9 of air represents imagination and our connection to the universal consciousness of universal mind. It signifies the importance of knowing thyself, for in truly knowing thyself, one will know both the universe and the power of the void. Ask yourself if the universe we dwell within is actually the mind of another being. What if the universe is in reality a God mind and we the creation of another being's imagination? What if within our minds there exist universes within universes where creatures that we dream of and imagine dwell in the same way we do here upon the earth, and within their minds are more universes like fractals where the same pattern repeats and creates? Our minds contain a universe, and within that universe are creatures and beings who also have universes within their minds. The universe in which we dwell is one of billions existing within the mind that is yet another universe. The pattern repeats in both directions exponentially, creating an infinite number of universes and realities. That is the reason why I disagree with AI, because AI is forcing us all to basically live within the universe of one type of God mind that's like propaganda and biased towards one type instead of embracing all kinds of realities, which we all do individually anyway. And because we are all sources, we are all source energy, we are all creators. And I feel that AI is slowing down real development. Like the development of AI is actually slowing down real development in terms of actually people getting to know themselves and learning their own creative power and what actually they have to bring. From within their own mind, not what they're going to be consuming on an IV drip that someone else has already programmed, that's biased towards someone else's God mind, and is the creation from someone else's imagination, like, because that's already been done. It's just that's always living in a reality that's already been done. And we're not here for that. We have to think forwards. And build new realities. I just think AI is not building new realities at all. Because there's a difference between if you use it to complement, like, say me as an artist, I wanted to use AI when I take a photograph of one of my paintings or one of my illustrations or whatever. and I want to use a tool that will sharpen the image, so when I print it, it's better quality. That's different, because I've created the art in the first place, and I'm just using technology to enhance what I've already produced from my own universe and my own imagination, and from my own mind-heart connection, or from knowing myself and bringing fantasy down and into reality. I'm already doing that within my own universe. What the challenge is with like AI is when people aren't doing that, when it's not being used to supplement or to complement someone existing in their own universe and building their own reality, and seeing what their own mind contributes to the whole, and that if it stops us all doing that together, like separate but together, and wants us all to become like one homogenous mind, that's very dangerous, and that's actually like the spawn of Satan. Anyway, that's like a little tangent. Now ponder a moment. What if we looked within and discovered that within the realms of our mind, we create new worlds and realities with our belief. We choose to believe in something, and a new world that mirrors that belief is born. We stop believing in something, and that world either evolves with our beliefs or ceases to be completely. Universes overlap, are born and die, forever bound to the life and beliefs of the God mind that created them. What if billions of lives were dependent upon our belief for their very existence? Would it not be wise to believe with understanding and knowledge? Would that not create a universe that is a little more constant and conducive to life? What if we are only beings within this universe because the God mind in which we dwell is a young mind with limited exposure, and at this time only believes in our existence? So that's, to me, that's very limiting. Like, I don't really agree with that, and I think that's basically the limitations of and the dangers of AI. Pythagoras is credited with saying, "Man, know thyself, and you will know the universe in which gods dwell." Simply put, he believed that to know oneself was to know the universe and the power of the gods, and he is correct. Everything man has within our physical reality that is not born out of the natural world was imagined by man. The television, the phone in your hand, the laptop on your desk, the movies you watch, the car you drive, everything that man has created was first imagined by their inventor. Moreover, when those brave souls voiced their desire to create their new and strange contraptions, they were seen as crazy, eccentric, and foolish. They were told that what they wanted to create was fantasy. At one time or another, everything we have in our present reality was once deemed to be an impossible fantasy, and yet now these things exist, and we take their existence for granted. This is the power of the mind, and the mind's true potential has not yet even begun to be understood or known. Yet we do know that the only limit to the mind is what we can do, is what it can do, is one that we, the individual, place upon it. We are only limited by our imagination, or lack of it. By looking within, learning and understanding the mind and the complex manner in which it controls our lives, and how it has taken our life experiences and used them to influence all we do and all that we are, we can choose to unlearn some beliefs, change our thinking, and embrace a new, less restrictive way of thinking. You can become the God mind that you are, and within your mind you can imagine and make what you imagine into a reality. We live in a society that admires innovation and creativity, and yet paradoxically fears it, and at the same time and at times actively seeks to destroy the desire to create, which I think that's what AI is doing. So it actually is like, it's like badged as innovation and creativity, but it's not. It's actually sucking the life out of real creatives, real people that live in their own universes and contribute to the overall consciousness from their their individual consciousness. I don't know why this keeps coming up. We may be exposed to teachers who punish those who ask questions and challenge the answers because they know there is a better way. We might be ridiculed by family and friends when we use our imaginations and speak of things that are deemed to be fantastical and unbelievable. But again, all that exists in our present reality was once fantasy and dwelt only in the mind. We may find we are repeatedly trained to reject creative endeavours as a waste of time and effort. The 9 of Air represents the importance of knowing your mind, understanding the beliefs and thoughts that limit and restrict you, and freeing your imagination. Now it is time to embrace innovation and creation. It is time to step into the realms of the unknown and imagined, to enter the void, where your imagination is most powerful, and bring what you find there to life. And that is really true. I have experience of that. Like, I recently shared my poem Hearts Heal Hearts, and there's lots of my creative pieces that came from the void, from being bedbound when I first developed chronic fatigue in 2022, that I just didn't know what they were. I was just channeling things, and it doesn't always make sense at the time, but you just have to go with whatever you connect with. You just have to be in receptive mode. You just have to be willing to receive and then translate what comes. So it is time to step into the realms of the unknown and imagine, to enter the void where your imagination is most powerful, and bring what you find there to life. You are born of a universal consciousness. You are capable of greatness, but all too often you may have been punished for seeking it. Nonetheless, it is time to let go of any unconscious bias against creativity and embrace it as the expression of human power and ingenuity that it is. And I have been punished. I've been punished by the system. I've had my business plan stolen and developed into fake AI version of it by a bank. Like, this is very serious stuff. Like, I think that's why I'm getting like riled up now, because I've been like the opposite of what the current trend is to push AI, which is actually against human power and human ingenuity and human expression. And people just following their own intuitive nudges to go on their own little quests to find and discover what they're, things by accident and just by repetition, and, just being in their own flow and trusting their own journey and trusting their own plans and goals. And you are as powerful as your mind allows you to be. You are as creative as your mind allows you to be. Don't be afraid to embrace your beautiful imagination. The void in which it resides is the womb that gives birth to a universe that is teeming with life and possibilities. To imagine and create is to make divine magic. You're born of a creative universal consciousness. You're born to create. And basically, I think that refers to basically like keeping your sacral chakra pure. Because like in this day and age, people just like give their creative power away because they're just really promiscuous and frivolous with their sacral energy, and so they don't actually get to really embrace the expression of their human power and ingenuity because they're too busy giving it away with frivolous sexual activity. So they never actually get to experience what that creative void really feels like. And so maybe like something like AI then would seem like, something new and innovative. But if you're not frivolous with your creative power and you actually use it for your creativity and you harness it and you use it for your, to express your unique universal consciousness and bring that to the fore and and contribute it to kind of like the whole universal consciousness, that's what we're here to do. But like there's just so much focus now on sexuality, which is basically takes you away from your divine magic and your creativity, and just leaves you with all kinds of demonic energy that you have to clear out of your womb in order to be free to creatively flow, and bring something new and innovative. Do you want me to take another Gaia card? Yes. I feel like with the Faith card coming first, it's almost like creatives, don't be worn down, like trust in yourselves, trust in your own creative abilities. Don't be worn down by this confirmation pushed by big corporation to rely on AI when you know you're creative, you know you are creative, you know your source, you know you have your own God energy within you, and you channel it, and you channel it freely, and you channel it well. You know that you have creative power. Emotion, intellect is the next card that's come out. This is all very linked, all really linked. 11 of water, 291. Did we read this the other day? We might have done. Yeah, I think we did. Emotion, intellect, love, fear, expression, suppression, head, heart, ease, disease. Influence of emotional disharmony. Both love and fear motivate. Is fear the more dominant force? Unvoiced emotions must be expressed. Address unhealthy imbalances. Suppress emotion creates disease. Seek a productive means of emotional release. Be productive and mindful of your emotions. Meaning, the 11 of water is a balanced and realigned card that addresses any emotional disharmony that may be influencing your choices and environment. It also represents the need for us to see the whole and how an imbalance can affect it. Love and fear. How many times have you heard someone say that a choice or action was made from a place of fear, or was born of the person's insecurities and doubts, or was born of love? When we are attacked by others, we may react and retaliate because we are angry and afraid, but we may also act because we have love for ourselves and wish to address an injustice and prevent further injustice. Yeah, so going back to AI, I just think a lot of creative people are seen as, I don't know what, I'm trying to think back to my like quality improvement days and the change curve. Laggards, or like what's the word? Luddites. But we're not. We just want to address an injustice and prevent further injustice, because people need to understand that anything founded on exploitation, theft, dehumanization, oppression, occupation, that anything that strips sovereignty away is injustice, and it's born from fear. It's not born from love. I think, like, using the AI in the way that I described, how I would use it, or all the ways that I wanted to implement it, like when I worked in the NHS, like in dermatology, radiology, neuroscience, like all the way, they were all complementary like approaches. It wasn't to replace anyone or anything, and it was all supporting things that, like, it was like kind of like, it wasn't complete major transformation of services. It was it just felt like the next natural step to advance and like add innovation into the current structure. It wasn't like a major upheaval type thing that would take away sovereignty. We may choose not to take a risk or make changes in our lives because we are afraid of an unknown future, but we may also choose not to take a risk that may alter our lives because we love the life we already have. We may be plagued with doubts, but we can also be blinded by love. What motivates our actions the most, fear or love? The truth is that most of our actions are motivated by both in equal measure. Fear and love, like creation and destruction, cannot exist without one another. They can even appear to be the same force depending on one's perspective. What motivates you to walk away from a friendship or relationship that is causing you hurt and disease? One person may say that you have walked away because you are afraid of being hurt further. Another might say that you walked away because you respect and love yourself and know that you deserve better. Who is right? In most situations, both are right. You are afraid of being hurt again, and you do believe you deserve better. You may also be motivated to stay in that relationship because you are afraid to leave, or because you are so in love that you are willing to forgive the one who hurt you and give them a second chance. 11 of water signifies a need to see that you are often motivated by both forces at the same time. Love and fear are two halves of the same whole, and each flows into the other. However, an unhealthy imbalance can occur when fear becomes the dominant force and prevents you from breaking free of painful situations or relationships, thereby preventing you from leading a happy and productive life. 11 of water also addresses the subject of suppression and expression. Suppressed emotion can lead to illness. Emotional stress can manifest in the form of depression, anxiety, high blood pressure, inflammation in the body, and in turn disease. There can be real and life-threatening consequences to suppressing fear, anger, sorrow, and other weightier emotions. I've talked about this on the channel before about with chronic fatigue and stuff. That is trauma that's held in the body. And like in my case, in my experience, I feel like I've just been shut down at every door that I've knocked on and stuff. Like they just don't want me to. They don't want to support my plans. They don't want me to move forward with my plans because it completely goes against AI. It really does. It just completely goes against AI. So people are afraid of they were like afraid of me implementing my business plan. The 11 of water does not suggest that life is meant to be lived on an even keel. Life will always offer up moments that will have us shouting for joy, or conversely, suffering in silence. But if you express instead of suppress, you will move through life with more ease, as opposed to living a life of disease and suffering. And like, I don't know if anyone's thinking about like making a channel or something like that, but I suggest you do it, because for me, this has been like one of those tools for me to not suppress emotions. It is better to be proactive and mindful when it comes to your emotions. Never ignore them. Yeah, because they're supposed to just flow through you. They're supposed to just be messages that flow through you. Then you're not supposed to hold them in. And like, if you're around people that make you hold all your emotions in, you're around the wrong people. Confirmation. And I just guess for me, I'm struggling because the whole world is just like crazy on this AI bubble that is literally going to pop in the face, because all the maths don't add up. It's all really fake. It's all based on theft. It's all based on illusions and delusions. Like, I just think the rose-colored glasses are going to come off, because you can't create something like that is draining the life force out of the real creatives and not honouring them, because we should be honoured. We should be revered for our gifts. That was kind of an accident, but I'm going to go with it anyway. 7 of water 281. Okay, so it's faith again. Knowing, trust, faith, surrender, and it has control in brackets. Release, peace, certainty, passive. Surrender to the flow of life, relinquish the need to control, all happens as it is meant to be. I don't know why I keep saying that. All happens as it is meant to. Maybe it's a reminder to be and not to do. The future will bring what you need, not what you want. Control is an illusion. Your influence on the future is limited. Yield and be flexible. A gentle, passive approach. The Seven of Water represents letting go and surrendering to the flow of life, and doing so with complete trust and faith. She's about relinquishing control over all relationships and outcomes, and believing that whatever unfolds in the future is what is meant to be. She has worked diligently in the present, imbuing all she does with her love, so as to create a future that will bring what she needs, to learn, heal and grow. Now content and satisfied because she knows she has done everything she can, she lays back to rest, allowing herself to flow to the next moment and task. The need to control others or a situation is born of fear. Whether that fear is about losing someone or something we love, of being alone, or is simply a fear of failure or missing out, we do what we can to maintain the illusion that we have control. But control is only an illusion, even if we would like to believe otherwise. We can make empowered choices and work with due diligence and dedication. We can create with the purest of intentions and be motivated by love, but the outcomes we desire will also be influenced by timing, circumstances, and other people, both close to us and those of whom we have no knowledge. Because of this, we can have only a partial influence, and the rest is up to fate. If we try to exert more influence and control, we risk sabotaging our hopes and desires and manifesting an outcome that is vastly different to the one desired. How do you hold on to water? The future is not fixed, it is fluid and shifting, and so vast with infinite possibilities that it cannot be contained. Allow it to be. Detach emotionally, let go of all expectations and have faith. Don't invest in speculation, what ifs, maybes, worry or fear. The Seven of Water comes to tell you that it is time to take a deep breath and exhale. If you have set your intentions, are motivated by love, and have done all that is necessary here in the present, then it is time to give yourself permission to relax and let go. Embrace a peaceful, receptive and flowing state that takes you forward on the next stage of your journey. Your future is now in the hands of fate. Yeah, so let go. Trust your emotions. Trust in your own creative power, basically. So let's see what Divine Feminine wants to talk and provide some guidance. Who's that? Ariadne, mistress of the labyrinth. My soul knows the way, and the only way out is through. (186). Ariadne represents the love and support available to us when we dare to be courageous. Ariadne is known as being both the Greek goddess and the human daughter of Minos, king of Crete. Her father puts her in charge of the labyrinth, where 7 human sacrifices were made every 7 years to appease the Minotaur, who lived within it. The Minotaur had the head of a bull and the body of a man. He preyed on those who got lost in the dark. One year, a valiant and heroic man named Theseus went into the labyrinth to slay the Minotaur and end the sacrifices. Ariadne madly fell in love with him and gave him a sword to kill the Minotaur and a ball of red thread so that he could find his way back out of the labyrinth and into the light. Ancient Greek myths were oral, so there are varying accounts of Theseus and Ariadne. eloping after his success, or others, where Ariadne's consort, Dionysius, the Greek god of ritual madness and religious ecstasy, chases after her and pleads with her to return to him. Whichever way the story ends, the constant is that Ariadne's love and support changed the fate of so many who would have otherwise been lost to the labyrinth. When your soul selects her card, Ariadne is a symbol of the hope and the divine assistance, and the step-by-step process we can take to move through a difficult time or to confront an injustice in our life. That came up, didn't it, with the emotions. She helps Theseus because he's daring to end a pattern of madness. He's willing to do whatever needs to be done to stop the injustice. She gives him the tools to create his desired outcome. He is successful because of her, and she assists him because he acts with courage. Her message is that our courage is always in some way rewarded. When we seek to end an unnecessary pattern or routine that is no longer serving us, even though we initially created it in the effort to keep us safe, it can feel as insurmountable as facing a horned part man, part beast that lives in a dark maze inside us. Pure terror. But the soul always wants our freedom. The divine is what liberates, not confines. It might feel like we can't find our way out of the situation, this maze, but we can. We can trust the soul knows the way through, and that spiritual support is a given. Ariadne wants us to be brave, so that she can fall in love with our actions. She's both a goddess and a human. She gets our fear, but she also knows just how much power we hold as well. For anyone who cares about the intention, I just think forcing intention onto people gets you stuck in your mind and focusing on techniques as opposed to living from the heart. But I'll tell you anyway, in case it does actually resonate with your heart. My soul knows the way, and the only way out is through. Okay. Battery died. But I pulled 2 more cards out while I was waiting for it to rewire itself. So the next divine feminine energy that wants to come through is Kuan Yin. (104). The goddess of compassion. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. Kuan Yin represents the presence that listens deeply to our prayers spoken from the heart. Kuan Yin or Kuan Yin. It's just one's got a Q and the other spelling has a K. Is an incarnation of Avalokitesvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion. She is known as the goddess of mercy and is considered to be the most beloved Buddhist deity. Her name translates in Chinese as the one who perceives the cries of the world. She's often compared to the Virgin Mary in Christianity because she intercedes on behalf of those who call out to her with humility and sincerity. Scholars believe that the Buddhist monk Kumarajiva was the first to refer to the female form of Kuan Yin in his Chinese translation of the Lotus Sutra in 406 CE. She's associated with the number 33 because she appears 33 times in this sacred text. The Lotus Sutra reveals that the mudra most often associated with Kuan Yin is the Yoni mudra. Her cupped hands symbolize the womb to remind us that we all enter this world through the female form. The Buddhist saint Mao Shan is believed to have been an incarnation of Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin was originally worshipped as a male deity, but at some point during the Northern Sung dynasty, 960 to 1126, Kuan Yin began to be worshipped as female. Mao Shan is believed to be the cause of this transformation. The legends of Mao Shan contain beautiful accounts of her saving sailors from drowning in the rough seas. Kuan Yin is associated with jade because of its protective properties. In this case, it is said to help with going underwater, both literally and figuratively, drowning in the ocean or in a flood of emotions. When your soul selects her card, Kuan Yin is about the deep medicine that comes simply from being willing to bear witness to someone else's pain. To really listen, we have to move from the ego to the soul so that the story we are listening to doesn't become about us or trigger us. This also applies to the moments when we are listening to the story we tell ourselves about who we are. We are often far harsher and less forgiving to ourselves than we would ever be to someone else. Kuan Yin suggests that we listen simply with curiosity. Curiosity allows us to detach from needing to take the suffering of someone we love personally. Curiosity is a door that leads to compassion. It frees us from feeling as though we have to react to what we hear or defend and explain our part in their suffering. We can just perceive the pain that they are in, or we can finally hear our own cries of despair and not seek to judge or justify them. We can just be present to what needs to be heard. Kuan Yin is the most powerful energy of giving witness to our own or to someone else's suffering. Often, just a calm, abiding presence of compassion is all that is needed to transform that suffering into clear light. Intention. I recognize suffering in order to release it. Curiosity breeds compassion. Okay, the last divine feminine energy that wanted to come through, and she's got an anchor on her person, is Sara Lakali, Queen of the Outsiders. I have arrived, I am where I will always be, in love. 210. For anyone who cares about numbers. Confirmation. Sara Lakali is the symbol of the love that endures, the love that never dies. There are three main legends that surround Saint Sarah. First, she is known as a charitable noblewoman who collects alms for the poor in Saint-Marie-de-la-Mer in the south of France at the beginning of the 1st century. She had a vision that the female saints who were present at Jesus' death would arrive on their shores, and when they did, around year 42, St. Sarah was the first to lovingly welcome them with open arms. The golden legend from the 13th century says that St. Sarah arrives with the three Marys, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, and Mary of Bethany, as one of their slaves. She was said to be an Egyptian, very beautiful and endowed with healing powers. The third legend is that Saint Sarah is the daughter of Mary Magdalene and Jesus Christ. During the persecution of the early Christians, it is believed that Mary Magdalene fled with young Sarah, Jesus' mother, and Mary of Bethany to the south of France, where she raised Sarah and continued her ministry of love of becoming what Christ referred to as true human beings, meaning both fully human and fully divine. St. Sarah is known as the Queen of the Outsiders. She is the beloved patron saint of the Romani people. She is carried from her crypt in the cathedral to the sea on horseback every May 24th by thousands of Romani who gather annually to celebrate her. There's an ancient chest in St. Sarah's Cathedral that contains the relics of the three Marys. St. Sarah represents the spiritual tenets of the Camargue cross, faith and hope, but above all, love. When your soul selects her card, no matter who you are or where you are, St. Sarah's love is the kind that reaches you. There's nothing you need to perfect or prove. There's nothing you need to wait to become. There's only the deep, abiding truth that love is not outside of you. You are never an outsider to love. You are love. St. Sarah is the ultimate love card. the one that whispers what you've always known, that love is our true purpose and our only true home. Love is where we will all arrive, no matter how persecuted, how lonely, confirmation, how outcast we might feel, no matter how long it has been since we felt loved. Sincera is the healing that comes when we embody love again. She is here to welcome us back to the singular destination we actually never left. Home is only ever as far as we allow ourselves to separate from the space of our own heart. Intention, I've arrived, I am where I will always be in love. Okay. Wow. Let me know how you found that, and if you want me to do any more readings like this to help feminines come into unity with self and into wholeness with self, and I will do that. Thank you for listening and for bearing with me. And yeah, let me know how you found it, if you want me to do more. So I just do feel like there is an energy that, and it's important to just focus on keeping one with self and like focusing on what challenges you need to overcome, and how you can be more compassionate to yourself in your own experiences, and kind of keep your own alignment with self first and foremost, and also harness your own power and be more of a loving presence in the world. And all of that helps build your confidence and helps you trust yourself as well, and trust in your journey. So yeah, I'm happy to do more of these and tap into whatever the Divine Feminine and the Dreams of Gaia decks want to share together. If people want to hear more other offerings, I will do it more routinely, or I'll just do it when I'm nudged to, like today. Help me out and do the free things. Thank you all for being here and for hanging out for all this time, and I'll see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Take care, love you, bye.